Great. So as we said, please keep yourselves on mute. And when we get to the question and answer session, you can raise your virtual hand. So just to run you through some of the things we will be discussing today, on our agenda, we will start off with membership and some operational. We'll take you through what we are doing as an organization from an operational side. This will then cover membership, as well as a few other points from internally. And this might be some things that you've heard before, but just take it as a refresher. And we also have new tourist guides with us, or new members with us. So this is for them also something new to learn. Viola, please could you change the slides? So section 2 will be covering the training division. Section 3 will be talking about the convention. This is our January 2024 convention and everything that goes around that, pre, post, and main convention. Following section 3, we will then go on to a little bit more information about a typical General Assembly for WFTGA, along with the role of the delegate and the role of the member. We'll then cover some of the activities that we're doing. So we'll give you a brief update on what the Convention 2026 bidding process is, what is going on behind the scenes with regards to that. We'll cover our association journeys, International Tourist Guide Day, and then of course we'll remind you of a few important dates coming up. So with that, let's get started with section 1. That was the last time we all managed to meet in person, was our 2022 convention in Madrid, where some of us were virtual and some were in person. And that was a really small convention, but a really unique one in the way that we ran that one, not a typical convention. So from an operational side, just for this year, our executive board consists of myself, Alushka, president. We then have Sebastian, who is co-opted vice president. We have Viola, who's head of training, James and Marika, expo members, and then Sonia, who is our admin support. Under Viola, as head of training, she has a training committee who is made up of 2 expo members, myself and James, and then she also has the support of Dimitra, Banushe, Sonia as administrator, and an arbitrator, Ivana. We then, from an internal side, have as Expo identified broad goals, firstly for the 2-year term, and then when we met in person in October 2022, about a year ago, we then brought that into a little bit more detail. So our goals really were to grow our membership, which we have done. We've also looked at how do we retain members and how do we contact those who have fallen away. We really focused on membership engagement, although virtually was our choice. We don't have a choice. We would prefer in person, hence the conventions, but we really did go out of our way to create membership engagement opportunities. And then from a financial and legacy side, we were also exploring a few opportunities to support those goals of ours. We have internally a working flow chart. This helps us just run the organization internally, make sure we meet the governance points, and who sort of does what within the organization. And this is important so that we know that what we are achieving, what we want to achieve, and we are doing what we need to do. So these flow charts are really nice for us internally and to address the certain operational functions of WFTGA. As a WFTGA, we are a federation, and we often need to remind our members of this. So we are a federation of association members, and that is our priority, and that is also our mandate. We do accept individual membership, but our priority is not to get them to stay as individuals members. We want them to come in as individual members and act as a conduit to basically getting the existing association activated, or in the case where no association exists, to help to form an association and potentially get them to join WFTGA. So it's a bit of a long-term goal, and this is the reason behind accepting individual members. And then we move over to our membership, and I'll hand over to Sonia, who will take us through a little bit of the membership side of the WFTGA.
Sure. Thanks, Alushka. Good morning again, everybody. Greetings. Nice to see a few familiar faces. I'm happy to report that our membership base has increased over the past year. We're now represented in 78 countries, or we have representation in 78 countries, which is up from initially 74. Our full members, we now have 86, individual 23, and affiliate 19. So an increase in all those memberships over the past year. Just as a reminder, all membership applications are submitted to our board for consideration and approval. We do always request the documents to be completed in English and all supporting documents in English as well. Once the board reviews and approves, the members are issued with a welcome pack, which includes an invoice for the membership fees, a letter from our presidents, a letter from the area reps, and then just the member benefits information. Could we have the next slide, please, Viola? Thank you. Once payment is received, you will then be issued with a membership certificate as well as the respective WFTGA logo, which is applicable to your membership. And this logo you can utilize on your emails, on your websites, wherever you see fit. My primary contact is membership@wftga.org. So please, any membership queries, please feel free to pop me a mail. If you haven't received your membership certificate, please let me know as well. The membership certificate is issued from a platform called DiplomaSafe. So please be sure to check your spam folder as well. Sometimes the link ends up in those folders. And then as a reminder, from an invoicing perspective, we are fast approaching our financial year end. So please check with your association that all membership fees are paid. If you need a copy of your invoice, please let me know. Our invoices are sent from our accounting system called Invoicely. I will be issuing invoices for the new membership year, the 2024 membership year, from the 1st of November. And that will be due for payment by the 1st of Jan 2024. So please keep an eye on your inbox for that. As I said, any queries, please feel free to pop me a mail, membership@wftga.org. Thank you.
Thanks, Sonia. I believe the next slide does cover the deadlines you just mentioned.
Okay.
And also the payment methods for members, and your email address is on there as well. Membership@wftga.org. Thanks, Sonia. Okay, next slide. So we do quite a bit with our financial income, the little bit we have, because our majority income comes from our membership fees, and then we also have income from other sources such as sponsorship, training, and convention. Our main source of expenses is the operational side, our marketing, and our meetings and events. And this is where we also use a lot of our volunteers. When it comes to volunteers, we have not only the expo, but we also have area representatives. We also have our members who also jump in and assist when we need to. So the next slide, please. So within the organization, when it comes to financial side, we also have a workflow chart. And this also just helps with the governance as to who signs off and the process behind the financial side of things, income and expenses, and how everything is captured. So we have a co-opted treasurer at the moment, Iñaki, and he is with us today. If you'd like to say hello, Iñaki, and Viola, you can move to the next slide. Iñaki, would you like to say hello? I think he's a bit shy. But we'll move on to... Are you there, Iñaki? Hello. Yes. Good morning.
Can you see me?
All right. So let's move on to the next slide. So marketing and promotion. As I mentioned, we have our area representatives who assist us. So there you have Sarah, and then we have various ways of marketing and promotion, which includes us speaking at webinars, us speaking at events, attending certain conferences and meetings as well. And this is an ongoing thing where we promote our profession and promote our organization. And that last image was when the expo had the in-person strategy session. And when I mentioned volunteers, of course, an important position within our volunteers is the area representative. So I'm going to hand over to Expo member Marika to introduce herself and to tell us a little bit more about the role of the area representative.
So good morning again, everyone. Greetings, and I'm Mary Cardonato, and I hold the area representative portfolio for the Federation. And did you know that we have 16 representatives with about 14 nationalities and covering 5 continents of the world? So it's a wonderful role for a volunteer because they are serving as a frontline ambassador to you, our association members. So it's very important that you have contact with them, and any questions you have, just communicate with them. And they report to me as the liaison to the executive board. And therefore, we have the communication, we have meetings every month. And if any of you would like to stand for the next term, 2024 to 26, the applications will be coming out very soon. Just putting the word out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Marika. And then last but not least, also falling under the volunteer category, we have our global brand ambassadors. At the moment, we have 3. And this is very important because they have shown an unwavering commitment to the promotion of the profession and WFTGA as an organization. And this is not over 2 or 3 years. These are people who have been dedicated over 10, 15, 20 years of commitment to the WFTGA. So we reward them with the status of Global Brand Ambassador, which is quite an honor. And then we, of course, have our President Emeritus, all the presidents who have served in the past, those who are still with us, as you can see in the image that was taken at the Tbilisi Convention in 2019. And that brings us to the end of our section 1, which is operational and membership. And before we move on to the next section, which is training, do you have any questions around membership and operational? Later on, we will cover more in depth about a General Assembly and being a delegate. But for now, let's just focus on membership and operational. If we have any questions, you're most welcome to raise your digital hand. And if there are no questions, we will move on to the next section. All right, I don't see any hands, so let's move on to the next section, and I will hand over to Viola, Head of Training, who will just take us through a training overview and training update. Thanks, Viola.
Thank you very much, Alushka, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. It's lovely to see you on screen. I also just saw a message flash up from Iñaki, as we call our treasurer, apologizing. He's working from a mobile, so it's more difficult to operate the buttons on the mobile, but Iñaki sends his best wishes too. So training at a training division. My name, as you can read, probably so Viola Lewis. I'm also, like Marika, an elected Expo member, and my portfolio on the executive board is the training and training division. So I'm really very lucky in that I have a big team to work with. And training division, so who are we? There are 3 levels of qualification. You can see the logos on the screen now, from national trainer via international trainer to lead international trainer. And when I saw you coming into the room, I believe we've got 4 trainers with us today. There might be more. If you entered later, I might have missed you coming in. But we've got Ivana, who's a lead international trainer and also our arbitrator. So she is a lead international trainer and our arbitrator, as I say. And I don't know, Ivana, do you want to say a quick hello? Don't know if you're working from a mobile or what time it is where you are.
Hello to everyone. Thank you, Viola. Thank you. Hello.
Yes,
good morning.
Sorry, Ivana. You know Ivana as well because she used to be in the position I have now. She was the head of training for quite some time. Then we have Christina, who's one of our national trainers. Christina, do you want to say hello if it's possible? And I know a lot of you wear many, many hats, so we might see you later on again as well.
Yeah. Hello, hello. I'm on the train, so this is a difficult conversation. Very nice to see you virtually.
Lovely to have you with us. Okay, and then as far as I can see, we've got Sarah from Germany also wearing many hats. Sarah, I don't know if it's possible for you to say hello. If not, we might hear from you later because you're also an area rep. And Suinapa from Thailand. I heard you say good morning or whatever the time is, not morning for you earlier on. Suinapa, do you want to say hello?
Yes, hello, this is in the afternoon in Bangkok and nice to meet everyone. I am in the mobile, so it's a limit to open the camera. But nice to meet you all. Thank you.
Okay, lovely. Lovely to see your faces as well. And apologies, as I say, if I have missed anybody who came a little later. So a big training division, if you want to find out more about who they are, go on our website. Every one of our trainers has got a listing, a profile, as we call it, on our website. So the qualification, going down to the bottom part of the slide now, the qualification is actually the first step or only one condition for being part of our training division. So the next one is being a member of WFDJ, and that is something we have actually keeping an eye on in the last couple of months or even longer, I suppose. Remember when Alushka said we are a federation of associations. So being a member of WFDJ as a trainer is possible in two parts. The easiest is really if you are a member of your own local tourist guide association, and this tourist guide association is in turn a full member, as Sonia explained to us, of WFDJ. If that's not possible, if there's no tourist guide association in your country, then you can also be an individual member as a kind of temporary solution position before founding a tourist guide association. So that's the aim, the up and foremost aim. And then the last but not least is paying your annual trainer registration fee as a trainer, because this then will allow you to get access to the latest training materials, which are available in a G Drive. You get a monthly newsletter. There are special events. I'm going to mention one later on when we come to the standards day. So benefits for the trainers you can access. And first and foremost, again, to keep up to date, because a lot of things are changing. And so being a member of the training division is very important to represent WFDJ either locally or internationally for us. And then I'm double lucky, not only having the entire trainer team, I also have a training committee. You saw the faces earlier on. So the training committee is really responsible for the day-to-day running of the training division. So what is the role and function of a training division? Well, it is to serve the organization, putting it very basically. And if you look at our constitution and Article 2 there, it defines our organization as WFDJ shall be a non-profit making professional organization dedicated to the promotion of high standards of training and ethics within the profession. So the training division and training as an activity is a tool to achieve this goal. We are not a commercial training organization, but we are there to serve our members and other areas which don't have any members at the moment or have difficulties, or just to complement the training that's going on locally. So how do we do that? And the 4 points at the bottom of the page try to answer this question. So we provide training at the request of you, our members, the tourist guide associations and your partners, hopefully sponsors. So sponsors we've encountered in the past through our members are maybe ministries, tourism organizations, charitable organizations. So providing the training you request from us. And as you know, our training is mainly skills-based, so, which is the same all over the world. Second point, open courses at the WFDJ International Training Centers. And you see a photograph taken at the Cyprus International Training Center last year at the, well, that's the only photograph on the slide here. Another aspect is that we do training at the request of external partners, like, for instance, UNWTO Academy. Ivana and her team have just returned from such a mission recently. We also work with UNESCO and so on and so on. And then online activities and sessions, which have become so important over the last couple of years. Just a couple of examples of offerings and activities. So coming on to the recent activities, make it a little bit more concrete. We run a series of 12 virtual information sessions, and thank you to all of those who contributed, because they were for the WFDJ family, by the WFDJ family. We also brought in some external experts, but basically it was sharing our expertise in different subjects. So thank you everybody who participated as a presenter. You will have received your certificate. But moreover, everybody who participated will also have received a certificate issued by Sonia recently. We've got a picture of it on the top right of the screen. So if you haven't downloaded it from DiplomaSafe, have a look there again, and there it will be. Those certificates were accompanied by an individual email stating your learning hours, because a number of our members have continuous professional development schemes, CPD schemes, and you can use it as evidence for keeping up to date and keeping learning. Another one was, and that was for the first time, we run actually a CPD, so continuous professional development course, in-person course in Armenia in one of our training centers. And that was on heritage interpretation. And we brought in an expert in the field and really learned and updated this particular aspect of our skills and knowledge in this respect. And lastly, the trainer course at the Cyprus International Training Centers. So you can see photographs of both the course on Armenia and Cyprus at the bottom of the page. And our last course in Cyprus was almost a year ago in November 2022. Staying with our international training centers, the next courses coming up will be in Yerevan in Armenia in March 2024, and then thereafter in Cyprus in November 2024. And the courses we provide in our international training centers are twofold. The two courses right in the middle of the slide. Train the Trainer course, the qualification would be national trainer. And that is maybe the aim for quite a lot of our members, that you then have more knowledge to influence the tourist guide training locally for your own association or for partners. So that is already a really big achievement. And we've got a huge number of national trainers. And one of the priorities for the training division was to keep in touch with our national trainers as well and to let them shine a little bit more. So Dimitra, the trainer representative, ran a series of articles for or about our national trainers in Training Matters, the monthly bulletin. And the second course running in the training centers is International Train the Trainer course, which leads to the qualification of international trainer. And then progression to lead international trainer is through experience of working with an experienced trainer, and then gaining the experience to lead courses yourself. That's what the topic or the name really says. What's on the tin, it's in the tin in this respect. Okay, and in terms of coming on to the convention, which Alushka will be speaking about next, it's always a great opportunity not only to meet, to network, to run workshops in person. And before I forget it, anyone still wanting to, and that's not only trainers, everybody, members, anybody who would like to deliver a workshop at the convention, the deadline is on Sunday, the 15th. It's on Sunday. Yes. So, please look at your Guidelines International and submit workshop proposals. If you can't find the link to the SurveyMonkey form, just send me an email. You see my email address at the top of the screen there, and also the one of the training committee, because we could do with more workshop applications. Another thing at the convention is that we deal with the business of the training division, training division. So the training committee will be elected like the executive board or expo for 2 years. So on the slide the positions within the training committee are listed. The president is a member of the training committee, as we saw earlier on the slide. And as we all know, the president is, or those who have been to conventions have been in contact with us for a long time. The president is elected by the General Assembly. So the GA stands for General Assembly, or the Delegates Meeting, we sometimes call it as well. The same is the case for the head of training. That's so my current position, also elected by the General Assembly as an Expo member. And then within the Expo, the portfolios are allocated. The training division, so TD stands for training division, the trainers basically elect their trainer representative who serves on the training committee. And then later on, and that's a change to the past, an experienced trainer is appointed by the training committee once it is fully convened. And in order to be fully convened, it is an Expo member, a non-trainer is also appointed by the newly elected Expo. And then we've got our arbitrator, Ivana, in that position at the moment, who's also appointed. The sample agenda or normal business is at the bottom of the page. So really for our 4 trainers, a quick reminder what is happening. So over 2 days, we will have a meeting. And for everybody else, you see during the convention going on some meetings just for trainers as well, so that we can get our business done. And lastly, really a reminder again, so training division, please remember, so it's not only your qualification, please check that your Tourist Guide Association is still a full member of WFDJ, and remember to look into your annual trainer registration fee. Sonia already mentioned invoicing. So not only membership invoicing will start next month, but also trainer invoicing again. Okay, and with that, that really wraps up training. I see Marika already having her hand up, so let me stop sharing and see if there are any other questions. Marika?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Viola. I'm just asking for a friend, and just to make sure that I'm giving the correct information. They were asking, why are you not using other languages to train guides?
Okay, thank you for that question, Marika. We are using other languages. I mean, our national trainers, I don't know how many trainers, how many languages they speak, but the whole point of having a training division is so that we also cover the languages, the local languages. You're right, our working language and our main language for training as well as English. However, we have sent lead international trainers who speak Russian out to Central Asia quite a lot. We've got an Arabic-speaking lead international trainer, so we do cover other languages. But you're right, in terms of keeping that up to date, we really love to have more national trainers, maybe, so we can cover more languages. Thanks for that question. I hope it answers your question.
Yes, but is the material also translated in the language?
The material has been translated a while ago into several languages. I myself did the German translation together with Felicitas, who was our president at the time. And it's one we are working at the moment. We're working on French, for instance. But that is also, it needs first and foremost a training division and trainers who can then deliver training as well. So it's 2 factors or many factors that lead to the aim. So anyone who would like to help with this, translating our training material, because it's important that it's done by tourist guides who know the language. And anyone who would like to get involved, please email training@wfdj.org.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions on the training site? Okay, thank you for your attention. I think, Alushka, we can probably move on.
Great, thank you. So thank you for that update, Viola, and for taking everyone through how the training division works. So now we get on to section 3, which is the Convention 2024 taking place in Italy. Next slide, please, Viola. So do you remember we did the announcement in February 2022 for the Italian hosts and the Tourist Guide Association who were bidding And this was the announcement, and you can see everybody was very excited. So this was 2 years ago, and a lot has been going on since then with regards to preparations and getting ready for the convention in January in Italy. This is a picture of the website, so please be sure you go to the website to do the registration and to find out more. But what I'm going to do now is just take you through a little bit of an overview and give you some background on some aspects of the convention. So Siracusa is an island. This is the entire island. We have 3 parts to our convention. We firstly have the pre-convention tour, which will take place on the East Coast. And you can see in the middle, we have the city of Catania. That is where we suggest you arrive into, is the city of Catania. The pre-convention tour will take place in and around of Catania, and the pre-tour includes the accommodation for Catania. Our main convention takes place further down on a little island of Ortigia, and the main convention is the business part of our convention. So this is where we have all the formalities and the educational aspects of the convention. The post-tour then takes place, leaving by coach buses and stopping at a couple of different towns from Ortigia all the way up north to Palermo. And this is where we suggest that you depart from, is Palermo Airport. As you can see, it's quite a distance from driving Palermo to Catania for a flight. And as the post-convention tour ends after lunch on the Monday, it is suggested that you fly out in the evening from Palermo or the next morning. So that just gives you a little bit of a geographical scale of the island. We then, the next slide, please. We then show you on the website that this is also just a breakdown of what is included in the pre and post tour. And as I said, the important thing to note here is that your accommodation for pre and post tour is included. For the pre-tour, the first night, the arrival night of the 18th is included, although there's no activities on that day. That is the day for you to arrive into Catania. And then, of course, the post-tour has the 3 nights. And for the post-tour, you leave on the last day of the convention after lunch. All those doing the post-tour will leave. If you are not doing the post-tour, you can fly out from Catania after lunch on the Friday. It's approximately a 45-minute drive between the island of Ortigia and Catania Airport. Next slide, please. So let's start off with a welcome from the Catania Airport by Sebastian.
Dear colleagues from all around the world, I'm Sebastian Cobbett, member of the WFDGA board, and I'm here in Catania in Sicily at the airport where we will have our welcome desk for the 20th Tourist Guide Convention. And a Tourist Guide Convention, this is our professional meeting where we have lectures, workshops, best practice experiences, where we talk about the vision for our professions, about problem, and where we help each other. So don't miss this chance, the main convention, our professional part, and then the pre and post tour where we have all the excursions visiting this amazing place of Sicily. And a tourist guide meeting is really something unique and special because we're in the same mood, we have the same interest, and it's always party from the first beginning to the end with a lot of dancing experiences, but also a lot of professional networking. So see you in 1 year.
So as Sebastian says, a lot of singing and dancing. And with that, we hand over to Carlo, who is the president of the Sicilian Guides Association, who is demonstrating his singing skills in one of the venues that we will be experiencing as a part of the convention tour during the main convention.
E una giornata sole, l'aria serena dopo una tempesta e l'aria fresca giornate sole. Bravo!
Earlier, you saw a map of Siracusa, and this is on the left-hand side showing you the edge of Siracusa going onto the old island of Ortygia. So on the right, you have a larger view of the island of Ortygia, and this is where our main convention will be taking place. It's a small island, it's a walkable island, there are no high-rises, it's cobbled streets, a lot of locals, small restaurants, small cafes, and this is the island where our main venue for all our opening ceremonies or all our ceremonies and plenaries and workshops will be, as well as our field workshops are all walking distance from the venue as well. So most of you would have got accommodation on this island or on the tip of the Siracusa mainland. But this is an island, as you can see, surrounded by the ocean, which means that the climate could be a little bit difficult in that there may be some wind, a little bit of rain, and quite cold in the evenings. So please remember to consider that. So for our main convention fees, they do not include accommodation. The accommodation is at your discretion. You can choose where you want to stay and what you want to spend. But for the main convention, we have three types of registration. We have you as the main participant. We have you, your accompanying person. Your accompanying person is your partner or spouse who is not taking part in the entire main convention, and they have their own program. And then, of course, we have the delegates. So for the delegates, they arrive one day earlier, and we have the General Assembly taking place on the Sunday as well as during the week. For the other participants, you will then start with the program on the Sunday evening when we have a welcome ceremony and cocktail, but you will then either arrive on your own during the Sunday, or you would arrive with the pre-tour on the Sunday afternoon. And then, as I said, the main convention ends on the Friday after lunch, and you either leave on your own or leave on a post-tour. So on the website address is at the bottom. You will actually come across exactly what is included and what is not included in the main convention fee. This is an image of some photos taken from our convention in Tbilisi in 2019, and it just shows the different types of formats of some of the sessions that are taking place during the main convention. We have the plenary sessions, which are in the main venue, and in Italy, the main venue, as you can see in the bottom left corner, is the Municipal Theatre, a beautiful old theatre, and that is where all our plenaries, our opening ceremony, closing ceremony, and welcome ceremony will take place in that one venue. We also then have workshops and roundtable discussions. The workshops and roundtables will also take place on the upstairs level of the same Municipal Theatre venue. And then we have the field workshops, as I said, where you step out into the town of Ortygia and experience those different field workshops. One of the field workshops that we offer is the Pupi Theatre, a visit to the Pupi Theatre, which is the puppet theatre, where you'll get a tour of the theatre and demonstrations. And this is a little video inviting you to join them on this field workshop.
We invite you to join us at Syracuse, so you will experience the best workshops ever. You will enjoy the everyday life of locals. Come to Sicily. Join us, please, for the next convention in 2024. Come.
So in summary, our main convention is made up of different events, as I've said. So we have on the Sunday evening, we have the welcome ceremony. We also then on the Monday morning have the opening ceremony. We have Tuesday morning, the plenary, Thursday evening, the gala, and Friday morning, the closing ceremony. So to enjoy all of this, as well as the workshops, attending in person is obviously beneficial to you. We will, however, be doing a webinar format for the welcome ceremony, plenary, and closing ceremony. We will not be doing on virtual the workshops and the gala dinner. So if you'd like to experience those, we do suggest you come in person. But for those attending virtually, you will only have access to a very limited part of the program. When it comes to our workshops and our plenaries and our speakers, they're all conducted by professors, by professionals in the different fields that we will be exploring, as well as some WFTGA trainers, and of course your tourist guides. Your peer-to-peer sessions and workshops will also be part of the program. Some of the themes that and topics that we'll be discussing include everything from technology for tourist guides, history of food, something very interesting, route tourism being presented by a professor from Italy. We also have adventure tourism or adventure tourist guiding, over tourism, and then of course history of the Roman Empire and a lecture on protecting our heritage. And then there will be more than this as well, but these are just some of the highlights, including roundtable discussions around challenges for tourist guides, and also a fishbowl concept in one of the workshops as well. Our gala evening is going to be very special. We'll be in this beautiful venue. In the image, you can see it's empty, but if you can imagine for our gala dinner, there'll be beautiful tables, there'll be music, there'll be a dance floor. It's also an evening where we hold our auction and where we announce the winner to host the 2026 convention. So there's a little bit of an agenda to it, but for the most part, it is a fun evening. It's all about networking and really enjoying this amazing venue where we'll be. It does get a little windy. As you can see, that's the image of Sebastian and myself when we went to visit the venue. So if you do enjoy your hairstyle, we suggest you wear something over your hair, and we also suggest that you wear comfortable shoes to get to the venue, and when you're inside the venue, exchange it for your beautiful high heels, because it is a little bit of a walk to get there. And then if you have not, let's first hear from Elisa, who is one of the local tourist guides who is at the gala dinner venue.
Folks, be prepared. The gala dinner will take place in a special place, a fort dating back to the first half of the 13th century. Such an authentic place, you will experience the best dinner. Don't miss the dinner with us.
So with regards to the convention 2024, over the last year, we've done quite a number of promotions where we've focused specifically on the convention, and we've done presentations to a number of our association members. So all of these are available on our YouTube channel, which you can go and view, and you will get more in-depth information about how the website works, how to register, and also more in-depth on the program. Marika, I'm going to throw you in here. You've attended a number of these virtual sessions where we've gone over the convention, where we've gone over the different aspects of enjoying registering for the convention. What would be your 3 takeaways when it came to preparing to attend this convention in Sicily, Italy?
Yeah, that's a good question, Alushka, that you've asked me. So I think just by listening over and over again to this presentation about the convention, I really look forward to attending, because I've never been to Sicily. It's my first visit. But as I see the images, so the first thing that struck me would be Elisa Ottaviano, our local guide in Syracuse, who talks about this. The gala dinner will be the best dinner in your life. I can't wait for that. What is the best dinner of my life? And held in this castle. And I'm really looking forward to that. Another one is the singing in that archaeological park. I think that was awesome. That was such a moment that I can never forget, a guide, just expressing his passion for music. And that was so beautiful. And also that scene was where the latest Indiana Jones was filmed. So all of that is the image is just so something I won't forget. And the last thing is the bad hair day. I love that image with the hair floating and just because it's so windy. So I won't forget to bring something to cover my head. And also the shoes you mentioned about bring comfortable shoes because there will be, cobblestone. So I won't forget to bring my shoes, my dancing shoes, my walking shoes, and also my headscarf, something to protect me. But overall, I'm excited and I'm really looking forward to seeing you all, our dear members, colleagues, friends, and being part of a global family. And I think that's the key message that I want to share is that we are all part of this big global family, and we come together every 2 years, just to reconnect and to have that beautiful friendship, which the Federation really encourages, the hands of friendship. And that's what happens in the gala dinner. Thank you.
Thanks for that summary, Marika. So before we move on to our next section, which is the WFTGA Business and General Assembly and preparing as delegates, are there any questions around the convention? I think it's all fine. Okay. All right. Thank you, Viola. If we could have the slides, please. So as we said, during the main convention program on the Sunday, we have our General Assembly. And then, of course, during the week, we also have the General Assembly. And this is attended by delegates. Now, delegates is not a person who is self-appointed. A delegate is a person who is appointed by the committee or the board of the association, the full member association of the WFTGA. And this delegate has quite an important role because they are there to represent the association and the association members. So they are not there to put forward their own views, their own personal choices. They're there to listen to what the members want and then to carry that through into the General Assembly. And this is important when it comes to voting on certain aspects. So the General Assembly does conduct business. And within this business and the agenda, it includes things such as this year specifically, we as the Expo will propose to the delegates some changes to our WFTGA constitution. So there will be voting and discussion around that. We'll also be looking at who will host the 2026 convention, and the delegate casts the vote for that as well. And then we'll also be voting for important positions within the WFTGA. So the executive board positions, as well as that of president and treasurer. So it's very important that your delegate come in informed and that you tell them what your thinking is behind this information. So delegates are important in that you have to give us a letter to say to us who this delegate is, and they start receiving quite a lot of communications from us from the end of November, December into January. And this is in the form of a delegates pack. And these delegates packs are quite important because they contain everything from the minutes of the previous General Assembly. They contain the CVs and application forms of those who are interested in being voted into positions within the WFTGA. It contains the bidding documents of those bidding countries who have gone through to the finals. It also contains country reports of fellow associations. And it's really good to read those and come prepared to the delegates. If you come to the General Assembly unprepared, me as president, I'm quite a strict president, and I will call you out on that because we do not have a lot of time to go through everything. So we expect you as a delegate to come prepared and having read everything. We have so little time together and we have a lot of business to achieve. So we really do want quality when it comes to our General Assemblies. And as I said, the role of the member is also quite important. Although you don't attend the General Assembly, your role is really in also seeing what is presented by WFTGA virtually. For example, all our 2026 bidding countries will do a public presentation. So presentations that all of you can attend, the recordings will be on YouTube. And it is up to you to also watch them and see what is most beneficial to you as a tourist guide to go to this host country as the next convention. Remember, these bidding countries put a lot of work and effort into these bids that they put forward. So coming back to the General Assembly, there are positions within the General Assembly. If we could have the next slide, please, Viola. And these are some of the positions. Some of them are volunteer and some of them are voted. So, for example, we ask for anyone coming forward on the arbitration committee. We have the financial inspection committee. We also have our volunteer parliamentarians. Those are all volunteers who step forward. And then within the expo, as I said, we have the treasurer, president, and board members. Once this has taken place, there is a handover, and then within the executive board, positions are chosen. Next slide, please. So I've already discussed the General Assembly, what takes place in General Assembly. As I said, you have the delegates' role, which is quite important. They have the power for decision-making. What's nice is if you come for a first-time delegate, there's certain special things that take place. For example, some of our association members tend to swap pins, their association pins. This is really up to you whether you have the budget for this. Some of our delegates bring sweets from their countries to give to other delegates as a little thought. So there is a little bit of a friendship exchange going on at the General Assembly as well between countries. We also ask if you have a desktop flag, you're welcome to bring that as well, of your association or of your country, because how we are seated in the General Assembly is by country. So we start at the A's and we end with the Z's, and we sit in a U shape. So it's a little bit formal in that respect as well. And because this year we are doing the virtual General Assembly, those delegates who will be attending virtually also have to register in advance, and this will also be on the convention website, and these registrations were open in November for the virtual attendance of delegates. The virtual attendance registration is compulsory, and this will also include access to all the events that we will be sharing online, as I said, excluding workshops. So it is compulsory to please register if you are attending virtually, and this goes for the training division meetings as well, to also register to attend virtually and in person. I think that summarizes the General Assembly part of things and the role of the delegates. Do we have any questions about that section before we move on? Ivana.
Hi, good morning. I realized you said that the delegates are going to get a suggestion about the changes in the Constitution. Did I get it correctly? If yes, then when are we going to receive these suggestions? Only when we get to the General Assembly or before that?
Before, definitely before. What will happen is in the beginning of November, invoices will go out, because we can only confirm who are the confirmed delegates for the General Assembly once membership fees have been paid for the 2024 membership year. Once those payments start being received and we receive the delegates' letters, then we will start filtering communications to our confirmed delegates. So prior to that, we do not know who our valid members are. So as I said, so during November and December, all these communications will start being shared with our delegates. Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions around delegates or General Assembly? Okay, let's move on to the next section, Viola. Basically a summary of our WFTG activities. Before I do that, I know that we have one of our regular delegates with us as well. We have Christina. Christina, I know you're on a train, but if you could just quickly give any new delegates any advice from your experience of attending many meetings, please go ahead and share what you would advise any new delegates or even existing delegates.
Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. Yeah, my advice. What I did do myself was extensively and the Constitution, because one of the things I realized when I was actually attending in person is that there was a lot of comments that could have been answered if people were aware of the Constitution. So it would be really helpful if people would read all the documents beforehand, because that saves a lot of unnecessary questioning and answering, and that speeds up the process, because what I've noticed in previous General Assemblies is that it can be really tiresome if it goes on and on, you know what I mean, answering things that people should know beforehand. So that's one of my advices. And secondly, people that are attending as delegates, they have to be aware that they are there for work. Because I've noticed that not everyone, of course, most of the people are there very seriously in their role as a delegate. But sometimes people are more like thinking about what they're going to do for dinner than actually working. So if you are a delegate, you have to understand that you're going to miss out on a lot of things because you are social programs and workshops, because actually you are working. So that's another. So you're concentrate on post tours or pre tours if you want to do something social, but while you are actually attending the delegates meeting, you have to work basically. So that's another comment I would like to put forward.
Thank you, Christina.
And that's it.
Very good points, excellent points, and absolutely come prepared, read everything before the time. As you say, you're there to do business, and also it's a little disrespectful for those who come prepared, for the board who do a lot of work and have already started in September to prepare for this General Assembly with the administration. So yes, it's not a leisure time, and you are there to represent your association. Thank you, Christina, and we look forward to seeing you in Italy in a couple of months. Great. Okay, let's move on to the next section, some of the activities, and let's first start with some information about our 21st convention, which is currently underway with our bidding countries. At the moment, we have 6 bidding countries who are our member associations. The preparation for these bids started a year ago for many of these bidding countries, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of money. They work with convention bureaus, they work with their local tourism authorities and preparing these bid documents. And we've now met the final deadline where everything had to be submitted for the bid documents. And this month of October, everything is going through a vetting process by an internal team. And this vetting process makes sure that everything that we've asked for within the bidding document has been provided to us in a manner that has given us enough information to pass on to the delegates. Because remember, the next step is that the delegates view all these bids ultimately to then vote in January 2024. Part of the process, once we come to the end of October and we have finalized these bidding countries, there could be all 6 of them, it could be 2 of them, it really depends on the documents we have received. We then make this announcement publicly. There's then the entire month of November where all these finalist bidding countries have the opportunity to lobby online, to share with you publicly their program, what they have included in their bid proposition and bid proposal. And this is important for members to view because, as I said, you as the member of associations have the right to speak to your delegate, to tell them what you would like to see and what you want out of the next convention. So it's important that you also read all the bid books and that you view the promotional videos. And then, of course, we announce the winner at the gala dinner in January 2024, and at the closing ceremony on the Friday, the winning country then gets to do a welcome invitation during the closing ceremony. The thing to remember with conventions, and we've made this clear with the one coming up in Italy, is that the main convention program's focus is the business of the association. It's about education, it's about skills development, it's about growing your knowledge. And then the fun stuff happens a little bit in between, but the main convention really is a business event, and where you can meet guides from across the globe and share best practice and challenges. So that is a summary of where we are currently with our 2026 potential hosts. So a very exciting time, and we wish them all best of luck and thank them for the hard work. And Sarah is, I think, who's still with us. Sarah is assisting with the 2026 convention preparation. She's part of the working team. Yeah, Sarah, welcome.
Yeah, hi. I'm in the street of Naples right now, so hi from there. And I'm listening, but it's difficult to talk.
No problem, no problem. But from my side, thank you for assisting with the 2026 administration. So the next opportunity for our members is the membership journeys. And part of a delegate's role is to submit a country report for the last 2 years. So basically between conventions, where the last one was Madrid 2022, the next one is 2024. So a country report covers the activities of the association member for the last 2 years. And this year, we're also going to allow them to do their country report in the way of a presentation as part of the association journeys. And we've run these association journeys since for the last 3 years. And this is an opportunity where you get a time slot as the association, and you get to present verbally using videos if you would like, or images, and sharing your activities from your association's point of view, everything from success stories to challenges. And this is a really nice opportunity. So please, when we open up the time slots and we start sharing communications around this, please make use of it and ensure that sometime over the 4 days, you choose a time slot that is suitable to your association. 1 or 2 people may present and then present to us about your association activities. On our YouTube channel, you will see some recordings from previous year association journeys, which you can view to see the typical format. This year we have 4 days, and there will be different times, very much like the virtual members meetings this week, to accommodate as many of our members as possible with regards to the time zones. This is also an opportunity where our bidding countries will also have opportunity to bid and present to share with you their bid proposals. And we'll also have presentations from our area representatives as well. So strict time limits do apply, but we'll share all this information with you. But as association members, please keep a lookout for when these time slots open. So International Tourist Guide Day is our next event. And Marika, would you like to add to International Tourist Guide Day and tell us a bit about this special day?
Yes, thank you, Alushka. And just to remind everyone that every February 21st of every year, we celebrate International Tourist Guides Day. What does that mean? What's the origin of that day? Well, if you don't know the story, we were founded on February 21, 1985, and that is the story like a Founders Day, Foundation Day. And we celebrate it all around the world with our associations and highlighting the tourist guide profession. And we also have a theme to be able to present a message that's very vital to our profession. And this theme, how do we think of a theme? This theme is really based on the UNWTO theme, the yearly theme of the UNWTO, which is this year is tourism and green investments. So as a board, we were able to come up with a statement. The theme for 2024 is tourist guides, our guardians in promoting and encouraging green tourism. And that is what we hope to achieve and communicate to all the associations. And you can interpret that statement in whatever form you wish to interpret it. And the focus is really all about green tourism and how tourist guides, the role, how it can impact that message of green tourism. So let's start thinking about that for next year, February 21, and let's engage our community and, let's move forward and think, how can we think of more greener content in our commentaries, in our tours, so it's a great topic, and we wish all of you to participate. Looking forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you for that summary. And those are just some images from our event earlier this year when we celebrated February 21st with a virtual conference, and we had some amazing speakers as well. So really celebrated in different ways. And we hope that at the convention we can do a mass photo and a mass voice message to share with the world as well for February. And then just to highlight some important dates coming up, we have the 14th October, World Standards Day, and then 30th November, as I say, we'll announce the final bidding countries. We then also have the association journeys. The deadline for membership payment, as per our constitution, is the 1st of January, and as we said, this will be strictly implemented. The latest we can accept payment is the 12th of January in order to participate in the General Assembly. And this is due to all the administration that needs to go on behind the scenes with preparations of our voting, which will be digital, and all the hybrid preparations we have to do for virtual attendance for our General Assembly. So these deadlines will be very strictly implemented. And then, of course, we have the deadline for all applications, and this also applies to training division as well. Which is also not negotiable and will be strictly implemented. For World Standards Day, which is actually tomorrow, Viola, do you want to tell us a little bit more about the World Standards Day and what we can expect on this day and what the purpose of this day is?
Yeah, thank you very much, Alushka. And like so many World Days, it's really a day that happens annually, dedicated to a particular theme and the world standards for us as tourist guides who within the profession, within the federation, really aim to showcase our profession and to raise the standards of our profession. It's a great opportunity to do exactly that. Be true to our convention and to our constitution and to the aims and really show our passion. So the World Standards Day is a day where, in addition to the International Tourist Guide Day Marika just mentioned, where we can look at the professional side of our profession and also highlight the standards that are helping us to do it. You will know, and trainers and anybody involved in your own local tourist guide association in raising the profile day in, day out. You can sing along to the first standard we use, which is the definition of our profession. And it is a tourist guide is a person who guides visitors in the language of their choice and interprets, so really the heart of our profession, interprets the cultural and natural heritage of an area and has an area-specific qualification. So if anybody asks what is a tourist guide, it's not a book, it's a person, and then we go on. This really gives us the language to easily communicate to our visitors, but probably more importantly to the tourism sector, to our partners there worldwide, to say what a tourist guide actually is. And the second standard, which I think is probably even more important or very important for countries that are unregulated in terms of our profession. So they are how can you say you are a professional? The tourist guide I had yesterday who had never done a day's training was excellent as well. So why are you a professional? And there we can say, well, we have been trained according to the EN 15565 standard, which is the agreed standard and adopted standard by WFTJ for tourist guide training programs. And that covers the content, the duration, the ways of training in there. So it gives us really I hesitate to say the word ammunition, but it gives us the tools and the justification for saying we are a profession. We are the professionals, as we proclaimed and as our kind of marketing tool was in 2009 in Bali, for instance. So in a nutshell, World Standards Day, a great opportunity for us to shout about the professional aspect of tourist guides. And we do that in different ways. Tomorrow, it is tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow there will be two things running. One is a social media campaign. It's actually part of a social media campaign which started 2 weeks ago. So it's post number 3 in that series, really asking us how important are the standards standards for us for any kind of profession. So it's actually entitled Trainer Talk, because we try to get our trainers more involved in it as well. But it's open to to everybody, and not only WFTGA trainers, but trainers. You are trainers in your own tourist guide association, maybe. So please look at our Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, very important, of course, if you want to, or if we want to, as we do, talk about professional standards and profession in general. Please tomorrow keep an eye out on those 3 channels and engage with us and help us. And it's an opportunity for you to say how important the standards actually are for you locally as well. So standards give us a language, a tool, and a benchmark, of course, to work towards. And the second thing we are doing is a trainer CPD session. So CPD, again, continuous professional development, which raises the standards so the trainers know it's about feedback writing and details for trainers. If you haven't had the chance to see it, look back at the last edition of Training Matters. So that's the World Standards Day, and it is happening tomorrow.
Thank you, Viola. And I think the next slide will give all the information with regards to our social media. So please engage on our social media channels. And of course, for our newsletters, we are always looking for content from our members. What are your activities? What are your members doing? What are the tourist guides doing? What's in the news with regards to your tourism that's affecting you? So please always share that with us on news@wftga.org. That is our news email address, and you can send your images and your short articles to that email address. If you can click again, Viola. Again, thank you. So there you have the news@wftga.org. So please, content, we need to know what's happening with you. And when I say utilize your area representatives, the area representatives really do try to communicate with you as members as well, but it is a lot of the time a one-way street. So please respond to them and also speak to them and share your news with them or directly with us at news@wftga.org. And then finally, just a quick run through what are we doing internally that you perhaps won't necessarily see, but just so that you know, we are all keeping very busy. Internally, we're looking at updating our policy and procedure document. We are looking at our constitution, which is a little bit outdated, and preparing amendments for the delegates. We are also still continuing to attend meetings and events for our profession and for the organization. We also are working behind the scenes with the convention hosts and the Italian guides in preparing the convention details for you. So workshop information, finalizing plenary speakers and so forth is very time consuming, but we are working hard behind the scenes on that. As you saw, Sarah and myself are managing the 2026 bids, and at the moment our team of Expo members is looking through those documents. We're also preparing for our financial year end, which takes place at the end of October. So a bit of administration behind that. So thank you to Iñaki, our treasurer. We have our Jane Aud scholarship applications closing on the 15th. We've had some number of applications for that, so that is good. And after the 15th, we will work our way through that and select the recipient of the Jane Aud for the Italian convention. We also have our Ukraine working group, which has been headed up by James. And that is where our members have come forward and said that they would like to assist in meeting some of the goals that the Ukrainian tourist guides have put forward. And then, of course, we continue with our membership engagements, such as the journeys coming up, and we conclude the VMMs today, where we've had 3 this week. So thank you for taking the time to attend that. And then just lastly, you will see a lot in the press this week and next week of the UNWTO meetings taking place. This is the time of year for their General Assembly. I will be attending that next week in Uzbekistan. We are affiliate members of the UNWTO, and I currently sit on the board for the UNWTO affiliates members. And so next week is a lot of business meetings, and a lot of the ministers, they usually have approximately 140 countries represented by ministers at these meetings. It's extremely high level. And these are a really nice opportunity, again, for us to showcase our profession and our organization. And there's a lot of preparation and work that goes into that week as well. So that is something we attend next week. So please keep an eye on all the social media about what actually happens there. And then that concludes our day for today. Before we wrap up with a little cameo video and close the meeting, this is opportunity for final questions. If anyone has any questions, would like to raise their hand, you are most welcome to. I don't see any virtual hands. Okay, great. You're also most welcome to email us if you would like any more information. These recordings will be on our YouTube channel as well. So please do so. What I did offer in previous meetings is if there are individuals who are interested in coming onto the board, as this is my last term, I will be stepping away completely. But if any individuals would like one-on-one meeting to find out more about what it entails to be a board member, I'm quite happy to do one-on-one mentorship meetings with you for those. We also have opportunity for finding out more about area representatives and other positions available. So please email me about that. We've actually had other associations who have requested that I do this presentation for their members as well. So that is also an option. And then with that, ladies and gents, that's a wrap. So thank you to Viola, Marika, Sonia, and the rest of the WFTJ team. And thank you to all of you for taking the time to join us. And then Viola will play us out with a little cameo video from Siracusa. Thank you, everybody.
We are here at the end of our site inspection week. It has been a wonderful week. We've met some of the local tourist guides, the host committee, and we've got to experience some of what you will be experiencing in 1 year's time. So where are we, Sebastian?
We're in the center of Siracusa, and our teacher. Have a look into the social media videos we have done with the local guides. Alicia's explaining us the Duomo, where we are in front of, or the town hall. So, and I think that's what this makes this convention so special, that we have not one hotel, not one venue where we are always in the same time. We are spread over the city and different hotels. We have an amazing Baroque theater where we are coming together. So it will be a very, very new way of a convention.
We'll be walking everywhere. We'll be experiencing exactly like the locals experience on their daily life, and we'll be enjoying the sweets, the food, and of course the coffee. Till next year, we look forward to seeing you. Cheers.
Cheers. I can't drink any more espresso.
You've got to cut that part out.
Yeah,
I kicked you because you were going on again too long.
No, that has to be inside.
Yes, but shorter.
Okay.
No, but I think that's fine. Because the longer you talk, the more I just sit you go.